Thank you, Catherine, and good morning, Minister, and I really appreciate you coming to the Upper House to discuss this matter with me. I am aware that there will be a new scheme called the National Childcare Scheme rolled out from this October, which will replace previous childcare support programmes. The aim, I understand, of this is that parents of children aged 2 to 15 years attending any TUSLA registered childcare service will be entitled to some level of financial support. However, one service provider in Carlow has flagged an issue with me, which I seek clarification on today from you. Carlow Regional Youth Services is a local voluntary service affiliated to Youth Work Ireland in my own town. The service began over 30 years ago in 1988 with one part-time worker, and year on year has grown to provide direct programmes and services for young people at risk. They provide a massive amount of services and opportunities through community-based youth work programmes, drop-in, specialised services for young people at risk and leadership training. This great service, with terrific volunteers and staff, works with young people aged between 8 to 23 years. While offering a comprehensive service to young people in the Carlow area with a community-based project in Great Cullen, John Sweeney Park, Youth Cafe on Byrne Street, there is also a strong focus on surrounding areas such as Tullow, Bagnallstown, Hackettstown and Burris. It is a countrywide support service that many families rely on. They work with a range of other agencies including the HSE, Regional Drugs Task Force, Carlow County Council, Carlow County Childcare Committee, School Completion and many other that I would never be able to completely list. Their work is primarily divided into 3 age groups: 8 to 12-year-olds after schools, homework support, junior youth programme, summer camps, 12 to 18-year-olds, drop-in facility, planned youth work programmes, youth participation programmes, youth leadership training, specialist support and services, and 8 to 23-year-olds, volunteer training, youth work, accredited training and some services for vulnerable young adults in their social time. The services has been in receipt of funding under the Childcare Subvention Scheme, CCS scheme, for the 3 after-school projects. This CCS scheme will, according to your department plans, be replaced by the National Childcare Scheme on the 11th of October 2019. The concern of this service, and I am sure many others like this, is that there is no provision for parents who are not working, for example, those on job seekers allowance, disability payments or one-parent family allowance in the new funding scheme. In fact, they have highlighted to me that the children who require extra support have been completely forgotten about in the new scheme that would not make it inclusive to all if the scheme goes ahead as intended. 59 8 to 12-year-olds currently attend the Carlow Regional Youth Service after school service on a daily basis. Their parents currently pay €5 per week per child to avail of this service. Under the new scheme, parents will be required to pay €40 per child per week if they are successful in securing hours. Their after-school service main aim is to provide additional supports to children who need extra help in order to successfully complete primary school, which is huge, Minister. They accept referrals from local primary schools, social workers, parents, CAMS and School Completion Again programme. For the after-school services, this is huge. This is an essential service, well respected by parents, children and the wider community, and plays a crucial role in supporting vulnerable children and families. If the National Childcare Scheme is implemented in its current format, the CRIES after-school service will be forced to close and the vulnerable children and families will be denied this vulnerable support. This would be simply because the users will not be able to afford it, Minister. My question then to you, Minister, is to ask if you are making sure that there are robust provisions in your scheme to ensure that vulnerable children and families in Carlow can continue to avail of this service, can be given and the support that they need to thrive and enjoy their lives. Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Senator. I hear the issues that you put forward. I'm going to answer now the question as you put it to us there last evening. The National Childcare Scheme, when introduced, will represent a major landmark for all children and families in Ireland, and especially for lower income families and lone parents. It can be accessed by all families and not just those working or studying full-time. The new scheme will replace the existing targeted childcare schemes with a single, streamlined and user-friendly scheme. It entails a fundamental shift away from subsidies grounded in medical card and social protection entitlement and towards a comprehensive and a progressive system of universal and income-based subsidies. By making this shift, By tangibly reducing the cost of quality childcare for thousands of families across Ireland, the scheme's aim is to improve children's outcome, to support lifelong learning, to make work pay, and to reduce child poverty. It's also designed to have a positive impact on gender equality in relation to labour market participation and employment opportunities. Under the current targeted schemes, there are many families with low income levels who are not currently able to access subsidised childcare, either because they are in low-paid employment or because they are rotating between short periods of employment, unemployment, and training. And the National Childcare Scheme will change this. Excuse me. The universal subsidy will be available to all families with children under 3 years, as well as those with children over the age of 3 who have not yet qualified for the free preschool program. The universal subsidy provides 50 cents per hour towards the cost of a registered childcare place for up to a maximum of 40 hours per week. It's not means tested, but with regard to income-based subsidies awarded under the scheme, parents who are working, studying, or who meet certain other conditions will qualify for an enhanced hours subsidy up to a maximum of 40 hours per week. The definitions of work and study will be set out in regulations made under the Child Care Support Act 2018. They will be comprehensive, covering different types of work and study arrangements, such as part-time, week-on, week-off, and zero-hour contract agreements. The legislation will also provide for bridging periods when a parent is moving between work and study, and where a parent is not engaging in work or study, the child will still be eligible for the standard hours subsidy of 15 hours per week. These 15 hours will wrap around school and preschool provision. This means that when the child is in school or preschool, no subsidy will be payable during term time. This approach reflects policy objectives of encouraging labour market activation and reducing child poverty and persistent poverty traps. Is consistent with the evidence of the strong benefits of learning and care for early learning and care for young children, particularly those from disadvantaged backgrounds, but also the evidence that these benefits are, in most cases, realized with part-time participation. For older children, it recognizes that during term time, child development needs will be met through school and preschool, while still providing part-time early learning and care and school-age childcare outside of those times. Arrangements will be in place to ensure that no one loses out in the initial transition to the new scheme. Families will be able to continue to access their current targeted supports until August of 2020. The new National Childcare Scheme has been designed to be flexible with income thresholds, maximum hours, and subsidy rates, which can be adjusted in line with government decisions and as more investment becomes available, so as such any adjustments deemed necessary by government can be carried out in a quick and a responsive manner.
Senator.
Thank you. Minister, I am very disappointed with the answer because years ago, I suppose, when all these groups had been set up, the after schools were always in what would have been called a disadvantaged area. But these parents are going to lose out here because they will not be able to afford to send their children to after schools. And plus, you're talking about the most vulnerable in our society. And I would ask you, Minister, I would beg you to relook at this scheme. There is good parts in the scheme, absolutely. And I mean, we need to make it across the board that it will suit everybody. I can understand that. But I believe, as it stands, the most vulnerable, and I would say there's over 1,000 children across the country or more using this particular scheme, that it really needs to be addressed. I have massive concerns about it. But can I just say, I have had requests that we would meet with you, Minister, in particular, and I want to mention Katherine Wall, who actually oversees this area, and she's excellent, and her 6 part-time staff. We are looking for a meeting with you to go through facts and figures, and I would really ask you that you would meet with us, and before the scheme is implemented, that there would be some help given to this scheme. We cannot lose this area. We cannot lose to these children that are the most vulnerable in our society, and I would appreciate if you could do that for me.
Thank you.
Senator, thank you. As I said at the beginning, I attempted to answer the question as you put it to me. It didn't specify the service that you outlined in your commentary to me. Having said that, I appreciate the arguments that you've made. So let me just say a couple of things. And international reports have stated that the National Childcare Scheme will significantly address affordability for low-income families. For example, the OECD research has found that Ireland will change from being the most expensive country in the OECD for childcare for lone parents into the 11th position. However, I do hear the issues that you raise now in the Seanad, I share your concerns, and that's why of this, and that's why last year I commissioned an independent sustainability review. The review analyzes a number of services in highly disadvantaged communities in order to explore any potential financial sustainability issues, which I think you're outlining, and the potential impact of the work study rules within the National Childcare Scheme. That analysis is going to be completed very shortly. It will inform any refinements required in terms of the National Childcare Scheme. While overseeing the completion of that independent sustainability review, my officials would be very happy to meet with you, those who were involved in the pilot impact study that you identified this morning, to learn more about their work and their findings as a way of taking in what you're raising before we make some decisions in that regard. Senator. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator, and thank you, Minister.
Thank you.